I see. He's gonna take nice pictures. Oh, I see.
So, Maya and Mo, you guys are doing Pledge of Allegiance in the cabin. Pledge of Allegiance first, the cabin later on. Okay? Yes, I'll announce it.
The day after, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a week after something, and I was like, wow, the officials on you. I didn't want to say it. Mom's wearing her eyes.
Look at his camera. Where's it at?
Guys, look at that.
Momo. Where is he?
Thank you all for joining us and for your patience with the weather. We're hoping the rain stays away. I'd like to officially welcome you to the 121st commencement ceremony at Dearborn High School. Arthur Clark was the first pioneer to graduate in 1897 and was the lone member in his graduating class. This year we have 473 students we recognize as we celebrate the graduating class of 2018. I'd like to recognize the person for whom this field is named after, Coach Robert Bob Bridges. For 63 years he's been serving Dearborn High. This was Coach Bridges' final year coaching. I'd like to recognize him for his years of service and the numerous student athletes he positively impacted. Thanks, Coach. I would also like to thank and recognize Mr. Oshnock and the Honors Ensemble for showing their talents in the processional. Thank you, guys. At this point, I'd like to invite the class of 2018 President Maya Hamka and Vice President Mohammed Darwish to the podium for the Pledge of Allegiance. Following the pledge, please remain standing as Miss Adkins, our choral director, and the senior choir perform the Star Spangled Banner. Maya, Mo.
Behind us.
Yep, behind us. Either that one or
That one? Okay, so
you guys can go that way. Scoreboard.
okay. Should we start now?
Yeah, go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, guys.
So proudly we hailed
Thank you, Ms. Atkins and the Women's Ensemble. Graduates, feel free to find your seats with your class. You all can be seated. While students are finding their seats, I'd like to recognize some special guests on stage with us today. First of all, the Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Glenn Maleyko. The Executive Director of Student Achievement, Ms. Shannon Peterson. The Executive Director of Business and Operations, Mr. Tom Wall. We also have some other members of the Dearborn Public Schools Cabinet that are with us. Also from the school board, Ms. Mary Petchikoff, Vice President. Mr. Hussein Berry, Secretary. Mr. James Thorpe, Trustee. And Ms. Mary Lane, Trustee. And at this point, I'd like to invite Dr. Maleyko to the podium as our first guest speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Congratulations, first of all, good evening, Pioneers. Congratulations to our graduating seniors in the class of 2018. Thank you, staff, parents, board members, and guests for being here this evening. I know this is a very busy time of year with all the events, banquets, and concerts that are going on across the district. I have to admit, I've fallen a little behind in some of my emails and other correspondence. I was wondering, if you don't mind, would it be okay for me to take a few minutes here and catch up on some of my graduation cards that I need to write? I have a few here. If I could just take a minute, please. Dear graduate, dare to do great things in life, unless, of course, your new roommate from the UP dares you to go swimming in the pond in front of the dorms in the middle of January. Dear graduate, you are the future. And for those of you who don't know, the future will be the new name of the latest Marvel superhero to have his own television series starting this fall on Hulu. Dear graduate, can't wait to see where life will take you next. Hopefully, it'll be further than the police car took your crazy Uncle Skeeter after his graduation ceremony back in '92. Great. Whew. I feel much better. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to get rid of my to-do list in those cards. Anyway, it is a very busy time of year, and I'd like to thank all of our school staff members, principals, and especially our teachers. All of you have worked very hard to ensure our graduates have earned the privilege to be here this evening. I also want to thank our parents and family members. Your support throughout the years has played a huge part in the success of these students. The nights spent helping with homework, driving to games and practices, volunteering in the classroom, or simply just making sure your child spent a few minutes reading each day, all contributed to helping your child become a better student and a better person. Your actions have taught a valuable lesson, a lesson about how doing the little things can make a big difference. Our teachers do it every day. They take great pride in their work and do all of those little things that go beyond teaching the lessons. Teachers take an interest in their students as people, make them feel valued, and build relationships. Each and every one of you crossing the stage this evening has the power to make a difference. No matter how big the task or how small the job, always take pride in your work. Let people know they are valued. Small acts of kindness can make a big difference. So take a moment to share a random act of kindness and watch the difference it can make. Let me prove it to you. I've got the program here, the names. Hassan Al-Moussawi. Hassan Al-Moussawi, come on up to the stage, please. Also, Jasmine Shami, Alexander Farkas, Megan McMahon, and Devin Young. Come on up, please. I want to thank these students for their hard work, but more importantly, I just want to let them know how much we appreciate them being part of the Dearborn Public Schools. I want to wish them all the best, and as a small token of our appreciation, we have a few $10 gift cards to Starbucks and Panera. Thank you.
Thank you.
And if we can make a few of our graduates happy, why not spread the kindness to some of our guests here tonight? Mr. Minor, where are you? Mr. Minor, graduation interventionist, is here near the stands. Mr. Minor also has a few gift cards, and he will pass them out. Thank you, Mr. Minor. Thank you, guests, for joining us here this evening. We appreciate you for doing your best each and every day as you support our students. Anyway, moving on. In an interview with Scholastic Magazine, Colin Powell, the first African American to serve as U.S. Secretary of State, said, "By doing my best every day, day after day, year after year, I finally got to the top. Being important isn't as important as doing your best every day." The story of Colin Powell, son of immigrant parents, raised in the South Bronx, is not only about hard work, but reinforces the values in always doing your best and approaching each day with a positive attitude. How many of us can think of someone like Colin Powell? I can. Bill, who works at our board office, exemplifies this positive approach each and every day, as he ensures that our building is very presentable for our employees and our guests. It is quite refreshing to work with him. He enjoys coming to work and takes pride in his job. He is extremely proud of the work that he does because he is making a positive difference with the employees and guests at the board office. There are many Bills in this world, and they energize us with their passion for life, and it is contagious. And I know this staff has taken on Fred Factor, and I actually did a book talk here with Mr. Maleyko, and that's what kind of got me into this theme for the graduation speech today with the students. So thank you to Mr. Maleyko. I believe in this. For me, the glass is always half full, never half empty. As our graduates set off on new endeavors, I encourage them to focus their time and energy on those aspects of life that are within their control. And when you face tough or adverse situations, and trust me, you will, I urge you to keep working hard. Never let mediocrity set in, and above all, keep a positive attitude. I encourage you all to follow the philosophy of General Colin Powell and be like Bill or Fred. Graduates, during my time as superintendent over the past 3 years, I can think of many situations where you have inspired me, provided me with optimism and great hope for the future. When I see you in the schools and interact with you, and yes, of course, those selfies with the vision sign, Mr. Wall, where are you? We have it. That you also encourage me to post on Instagram every time, I know that. Anyway, I am full of life and energy due to your enthusiasm, passion, and optimism for making a greater difference in society. Author Stephen Covey said, "All of us can consciously decide to leave behind a life of mediocrity and to live a life of greatness. At home, at work, and in the community, no matter what our circumstances may be, such a decision can be made by each and every one of us." Graduates, make that decision to lead a life of greatness, taking pride in all that you do. Never lose sight of your own capacity to reflect, change, and continually grow. Keep developing your skills and talents because your undiscovered abilities could lead you down a path that ends up making the biggest difference in your life or in the lives of those around you. Always remember, you don't need to change the whole world, just make a difference in the life of one person, and that may bring about a world of change. Congratulations, be safe, and enjoy the summer. Thank you.
I'd like to welcome our next speaker, Dearborn High alumnus 1991, Trustee James Thorpe.
Sounds like somebody's been sneaking into the old yearbooks to see when people graduated. On behalf of the school board, I'd like to welcome all of you. As a graduate of Dearborn High, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be with you on this special occasion. When thinking about what I would offer for advice today, I wanted it to be memorable, simple, and funny. I remembered a book, All I Really Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten, and decided to give it a Dearborn spin by going back to some of the schools that you guys started out at. I asked the kindergartners, what advice would you have for these graduates? Here's some advice for you guys from the class of 2030, which seems like a long time from now, but everyone in this crowd remembers what it felt like when they first heard 2018 for you guys. Pay attention. Really, this was the first thing the kindergartners told me, got my attention. Be respectful. Be responsible. Miss Kimian's class at River Oaks wants you to remember to be appreciative of what you have. Be a friend to others. Don't cheat. At Lindbergh, I met with Mrs. Wright class, and they want you to know it's okay to make mistakes. We all do. Be a great listener. Say kind words. Mrs. Smith from Howard, who might have actually been a teacher for some of you, once her class told you that you should always make good choices. Follow rules and laws. Don't be a bully. Have integrity. I was surprised when I heard that one from a kindergartner and that they actually knew what it meant and that they were living with integrity. Help each other. Reward yourself occasionally. Mrs. Wozniak's class in Maples thinks you should listen to your teachers. Very good advice. So please join me in recognizing the staff that has supported you throughout your years. Always do your best. Work hard. Mrs. Fillmore's class from Hague thinks that you should try not to ever have to move your clip or your card. And parents, if you don't understand it, ask a grade schooler. They can help you out. Be kind to others. Share what you have. If you ever give a graduation speech, remember to keep it short. All right, that was from my wife, but it's still good advice. And we're into the home stretch. Be safe. Remember where you came from. And I will close with this. Be brave when starting something new. Remember how it felt when you walked into a new school for the first time. The excitement, the anxiety, the nervousness, and everything else. Remember what it was like to walk out of DHS for the last time. You're all about to start something new. So be brave, be smart, be safe, and remember where you came from. Good luck, Dearborn High graduating class of 2018, and congratulations.
Thank you both. Before we begin recognizing our students, I'd like to thank some people who have been extremely supportive, and without them this event wouldn't be possible. But first and foremost, I see some veterans and some current military who are in their dress uniforms. So I would like at this point to recognize those who are currently serving or those who have served our country in the armed forces. Please stand. Thank you for your service. Also, next up, I would like to thank Ms. Terry Maslamani and the entire secretarial staff. Thank you, Ms. Terry. Our counseling staff that are up front here. And also Mr. Miner, Ms. Littner, and Ms. Rosberry. I would also like to mention my phenomenal administrative team, Ms. Crystal Osinski, right behind me, Mr. Kelly Deere, and Mr. Marwan Salami. Also, Mr. John Fiola, our head engineer, and the entire custodial staff, especially this afternoon. You may not know this, but the entire gymnasium is set up for all of you, so they were doing double duty. And Mr. Fiola, this is his 28th and last commencement here at Dearborn High. So Mr. Fiola, wherever you're at, thank you. And last but certainly not least, if you do any reading about the most impactful person on a student's success, they're going to tell you a classroom teacher. So we have some phenomenal staff here with us today. And I'll tell you the difference between a school and a building are definitely the people that are inside it. I couldn't be prouder of the people with whom I'm blessed to work for and with. And we have some of them here. So please give them a round of applause. We have a second class of 2018. We have a few staff members here who are retiring or moving on to different things at the end of this year that I would like to recognize. First and foremost, in the hat over there, Mr. Jeff Oshnock. In the back over here, in charge of our video production classes, Mr. Kurt Doley. And also in the back row there, one of our math teachers, Miss Audrey Springer-Wilson. Also behind me, the principal for Bryant, Mr. Andy Dennison is with us today. And the principal at Becker Elementary, Miss Rima Hassan.
So you know, they knocked off the chance of rain, so you might be okay.
And Dr. Maleyko said, there's no more chance of rain, so we're good.
Or snow.
Absolutely, or snow. All right, two more thank yous. First of all, parents, I want to thank you. The achievement and accomplishments for the class of 2018 wouldn't be possible without you. Thank you for your support and congratulations to you as well. And finally, students, thank you so much. I appreciate you for all of your work to get to this point, and you've helped us become better educators. I'd like to recognize some of your accomplishments. So what we're going to do at this point is recognize all of our students who have earned a cord, a sash, or any other signifier for their accomplishments, and you would see that around their neck at this point. So students were recognized for their accomplishments at our senior honors, and they're also in the program. At this point, seniors, if you're wearing a cord, a stole, a sash, if you would, please stand to be recognized. Thank you so much. Each graduating class has two top academic achievers. These two students compile outstanding academic records that earn them the titles of valedictorian and salutatorian. It's my privilege and honor to recognize our top two honorees. The class of 2018 valedictorian is Ali Osman. Ali. Ali has accumulated a 4.4524 GPA, right? He's taken 8 AP and 7 college courses and has never received lower than an A. In the fall, he will attend the University of Pennsylvania, where he plans on studying economics at the Wharton School's Huntsman program, which is pretty prestigious, along with international studies concentrating in Arabic and Middle Eastern studies. He's hoping to one day start an international consulting firm and from there pursue further education based on his interests. His ultimate goal is to change the world in whatever way he can. Talk to him for 5 minutes and he will convince you that he has the ability to do that, absolutely. Ali enjoys spending time with his family and friends, reading nonfiction biographies, playing ping pong, going on bike rides, and my personal favorite, taking naps. Ali served as the president of BPA, president of the National Business Honor Society, member of NHS, and the FBI Teen Alumni Association. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dearborn High School class of 2018 valedictorian, Ali Osman. So, maybe. Good job, man. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. I appreciate you. He said thank you. The class of 2018 salutatorian is Ali Hamandi. Ali has accumulated a 4.4464 GPA, also never receiving lower than an A, and is a 4-year DCMST student, taking 9 AP classes and 7 dual-enrolled college courses. He will also attend the University of Pennsylvania, where he plans on pursuing a dual degree in cognitive science and computer sciences. His ultimate desire is to live a fulfilling life and to manifest meaning in spite of his background and circumstance, while exploring the human condition through mythology and literature. Talk to him for 5 minutes and he's going to blow your mind. Ali enjoys listening to music and reading. He served as president of NHS and UNICEF, as a member of BPA, Key Club, and Link Crew. Ali received the AP Scholar with Distinction and was a BPA Nationals finalist. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dearborn High School Class of 2018 salutatorian, Ali Hamandi.
Congratulations, Ali. You good? Yep. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
At this point, I'd like to welcome one of our student speakers, Adam Bazzi, to the podium. Adam.
I'd just like to say I didn't know I was going first.
Full of surprises.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adam Bazzi. Before I begin, I must thank the Dearborn High School teachers and faculty and all of our parents for their support over the last 4 years. Our accomplishments are your accomplishments, for without your guidance, our journeys through the formidable forest that is high school would have been far more arduous. Education is a privilege. Being the child of immigrants, I feel as if I have a deep appreciation for this sentiment. My father, never having completed high school, made sure that my devotion to education was unyielding. As a result, I always felt a need, a drive even, to strive on an academic front. It was necessary that I acquire an education not only for myself, but also for my father. I can attribute all of my late nights and countless hours spent studying to this desire. It's difficult, if not impossible, to quantify the respect that I have for my father and the value of education he has bestowed upon me. If he and I didn't share a mutual reverence for education, I couldn't comprehend the immense frustrations that come without it. Dad, while I may never know how it feels to struggle with composing a letter or having to work harder than any individual with a formal education, I do know it stings. And while the diplomas we receive today may only bear our names, we should never claim them to be solely ours. And that's because graduating high school is far from an individual accomplishment. We should all take a second to look at our family members. We share today with these individuals for a simple reason. Their support that has come in the form of encouragement, compassion, and so much more is what allows us to succeed. So again, I'd like to thank all of our families. As we move forward, the entirety of our lives won't be dedicated to academics, but our lives should be dedicated to learning. The mere ability to learn itself is priceless, and as we age, that ability diminishes. If you don't believe in the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, just try asking your grandparents to send a Snapchat. I implore you all to remain learners, and you don't have to go to college to be a learner. No matter the path you take today, you and you alone are responsible for the value that you assign to education. And regardless of our occupational pursuits, it is our moral obligation to our society, to our families, and to ourselves to remain as educated as we possibly can be. Whether you become a mechanic, a business owner, a doctor, or even a teacher, I can say for certain that the intrinsic value of education will remain constant throughout all disciplines and fields of work. If we only walk away with one thing from high school, we must make sure it's our commitment to education. The diplomas we receive today are far more than pieces of paper. Our diplomas symbolize a fundamental privilege, the privilege to an education. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam. I'd like to ask the class of 2018 President and Vice President, Maya Hamka and Mohammed Darwish, along with our 2019 class President and Vice President, Maya Kadu and Noor Mooney, to the podium for the passing of the cabin. If you guys could join me up here. Yes, this is heavy. So, as mentioned in your program, the log cabin is representative of the first Dearborn school from 1835. Since 1931, each graduating senior class honors the tradition of passing the log cabin to the junior class. Seniors, if you would, please hand the log cabin to our juniors.
All right. You guys want me to take it back now? All right, thank you guys.
Nice job.
Now I'd like to invite our class president, Maya Hamka, to the podium for her speech. Maya.
I love you too. A poem by Anonymous. One song can spark a moment, one flower can wake the dream. One tree can start a forest, one bird can herald spring. One vote can change a nation, one sunbeam lights a room. One candle wipes out darkness, one laugh will conquer gloom. One heart can know what's true, one life can make the difference. You see, it's up to you. Hello, welcome, and Ramadan Kareem. My name is Maya Hamka, and on behalf of the class of 2018, I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to accompany and congratulate us on completing and passing our 4 years at Dearborn High School. To sum up or even encapsulate the 4 years we've spent at Dearborn High in a couple of minutes is near impossible, however, I will do my best. High school has been the richest learning experience we've had, but hopefully not the richest to come. One of the first things I learned in high school is the power of reflection. I would like you guys to join me on reflecting on the greatest lessons I have learned in my time at high school. The first, the power of why. Humans are born with a natural curiosity. Think back to when we were children. Following every statement our parents made, we would ask why. Over the past 18 years, we have found ourselves asking why less and less frequently. Why? The first lesson I learned in high school is to never stop asking why. This question, however, goes both ways. Not only should we continue to ask why when we're told or taught, we should ask ourselves why when we choose and act. You are born to question and challenge, and we all owe it to ourselves to answer the infinite questions. I would like to give a quick thank you to my parents, Ihab and Zainab, and my siblings, Adnan, Maryam, and Fatuma, for always answering my endless questions. I know they get really annoying. For those of you that know me, you know I also have a little brother, Alushe. Don't think I forgot you, kid. I just wanted to give you a special thank you for reminding me of the innocent curiosity we were all born with. The next lesson I learned in high school is to have empathy. Empathy is the ability to experience and relate to the thoughts, emotions, and experiences of others. We are often caught up in the road to success and misled to believe that our titles define us. I will be the first to come out and say, I do not care what your title is. I care about the experiences you have had and how those experiences shape who you are as a person today. The best relationships I have made in high school are not those that have stemmed from commonality in status or title, but those in which there was a mutual empathy. Although it is hard to escape titles, we are not what we are voted into, we are what we have done. My experiences define me first and foremost, and going about the world choosing my relationships in this matter have allowed me to create the strongest bonds where empathy is cherished and blossoms. Finally, the last lesson I would like to share with you all today is one I cannot coin more appropriately than Neil Donald Walsh. Life begins at the edge of comfort. Of all the beautiful things I've witnessed in my duration here at Dearborn High, the growth of my peers has been the most inspiring. And I ask you all today, most sincerely, do not let this commencement mark the end of your growth. Please let this only be the beginning. And in order to grow, we must challenge and put ourselves in new situations. Every single person sitting in these stands, both behind me and in front of me, has not reached their full potential. It is hard to step out of your comfort zone. Our fears and insecurities often challenge us to sit down and watch. I challenge you to stand up and act. The moment you are comfortable, you are stagnant, and you are letting yourself down. I began this speech with a poem. The final line of the poem reads, "You see, it's up to you." And there's really no other way to say it. It is up to you to ask why, to have empathy, and to step out of your comfort zone. I want to thank you all for allowing me to serve as your class president these past 4 years. And with that, I have one final favor. This one, finally not on Remind, but in person. Do not allow this moment to be your peak. Alternatively, allow this moment to be the first step on a mountain so high the peak is not visible. From the bottom of my heart, I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom.